Hey everybody, welcome back to LeftPawGaming. Today we've got some more of my walkthrough footage of Lost Judgment. Last video, we brought Chapter 5 to an end when the team decided to follow the path that the groping victim might actually be in on the murder. This video we begin Chapter 6 to investigate that lead. Let's jump in. Oh, here we go! New chapter, Chapter 6 I believe.
A previously unseen link is established between the groper and the victim. Charting out their relationship is akin to tracing a spider's web. But with each false thread ruled out, only the improbable truth remains. Ehara orchestrated the groping as a diversion. And by tarnishing his name, he secures both an alibi and his ultimate revenge.
I love Genda narrating that. Chapter 6, Converging Heat. Oh boy. That means this is going to be crazy. Maybe. Maybe a couple different leads pop off at the same time.
Hiro Mikoshiba's murder was sparked by the bullying of Toshiro Ehara, who committed suicide 4 years ago. The graphic video that hit the net showed the world how Toshiro's father, Akihiro Ehara, had brutally avenged his son.
It is a brutal video, too.
We also know the father had accomplices. On October 7th at 6:30 a.m., they forced Mikoshiba into a vehicle, took him to an abandoned building, and gravely injured him. Then, around 7:30 a.m., the time frame when Ehara killed Mikoshiba, the other conspirators were probably nearby, even though they weren't on camera.
At the same time, 30 kilometers away at Ikebukuro Station, a man who looks like Ehara is caught on camera. We'll call that guy the stand-in. The stand-in made sure he was in front of the cameras for more than an hour before boarding the 9:06 a.m. train, the same one Yui Mamiya was on. After committing sexual battery on that train, he meets the real Ehara in the camera's blind spot, and they change places. That's how he established a false alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. And to achieve this, the victim, Yui Mamiya, had to have been in on it from the start.
Sure are a lot of people getting their hands dirty for Ehara.
Yeah, why would they all do that?
Mamia, Ehara's stand-in on the train, the guys who kidnapped Mikoshiba. How did some troubled cop manage to recruit so many allies?
Well, one person that comes to mind who might be the key to all this is Yoko Sawa. She's a teacher at Seiryo High. She was the only adult Toshiro-kun ever told about the bullying, and she supervised Mikoshiba as a teacher before he disappeared. On top of that, she's a Kurokawa Academy graduate, same as Mamia. Those trespassers at the murder scene were also from Kurokawa.
God, how
Since
they're
they're
putting
all
this
about the
together is
same
awesome.
age, it's possible they were all classmates.
So you're saying these classmates are also Ehara's murder accomplices?
If we consider Yoko Sawa the central link, that's very possible. We do know that as a teacher, she felt deep remorse for Toshiro-kun's suicide. Maybe she recruited her old classmates to help Ehara take his revenge.
Yeah, best not to rule that out. Though I'm hoping that's not the case.
Why's that?
It's just, she's a really good teacher. She's passionate, responsible, and she's always putting the students first. I know she regrets the past, that a student died on her watch. And now another of her students, Mikoshiba, is found murdered. So if it turns out she's involved in that, I doubt I'll be able to trust my own judge of character ever again.
Yeah, how could you if something like that goes down?
I'm going back to Eugene Show tomorrow. The plan is to bring up Mamiya's name to Sawa-Sensei and see how she reacts. Until then, let's not jump to conclusions about her involvement.
All right.
Can I chime in real quick? I was looking into Kurokawa Academy and I stumbled across something that may be relevant.
What's that?
Well, it happened 13 years ago, but there was an attempted suicide. A third year jumped off the school's roof after being thoroughly humiliated.
That's who Sawa said. Yeah, that's who Sawa mentioned. That's got to be the same one.
Actually, Sawa-Sensei mentioned that. She said it was a boy in her class.
Right, that's gotta be the same case then. The student's name was Mitsuru Kusamoto. He's 30 now, but still in a coma.
Huh, and all that info's on the net?
It wouldn't be normally, but his mother happens to be Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health.
Oh!
Ever heard the name Reiko Kusamoto?
Not once.
I have.
Does that mean
It was on the
Ahara
news.
has ties to
They
her?
were talking about her and her son.
Is that who hired the Liumang to attack? And is getting the RK
Well,
involved?
do you remember the uproar in the Health Ministry when Vice Minister Ichinose got arrested? Apparently, his successor couldn't contain the resulting chaos, which is when Kusamoto-san got tapped to lead. They couldn't
Interesting.
afford another criminal scandal, so her promotion was out of the blue. She was a safe choice, a veteran with tenure and experience. Not to mention, her son's tragedy made people see her as a more sympathetic figure. Very popular. She's kind of a new generation heroine, so to speak.
Huh.
Is any of that relevant to the case at hand, though?
Who knows?
Could be.
But Reiko Kusamoto and Ahara both have children who were bullying victims. I don't think that's a connection we can afford to overlook, if you ask me.
I definitely agree with that.
Okay, so Kusamoto's son. What exactly happened to him?
Let's see. He was bullied by a fellow third year at his school, Shinya Kawai. The records say he harassed Mitsuru-kun every
Shinya
day, in
Kawai.
and out of school. Well, one time he even stuffed dirty rags in his mouth.
That's so cruel.
Yeah, and the teacher was a real piece of work. Apparently he knew, but he just smirked and said, "Don't overdo it."
I hope we get to investigate that teacher.
I remember now.
'Cause he's a
The media
dirtbag.
pounced on that one hard.
If they were classmates, then both Sawa-Sensei and Mamia would know about this.
And maybe because they couldn't save Mitsuru-kun, their guilt left them open to Ahara's persuasion.
But to prove that, we'll have to hear from them directly. I'll talk to Sawa-Sensei first thing tomorrow.
That'd be helpful. In the meantime, I'll be working on Ahara's appeal. It's clear they missed something important in the trial, since Ahara is apparently innocent of sexual battery.
Boom! That's a
Being
win.
that he was out committing murder at the time.
What started as a simple harassment case sure has blown up big.
Man. Alright, so we're going back to Sawa now. Guess I'll head back to the office for today. Perfect. Ah, it's morning after a nice rest. Probably cut out the shenanigans I did at night, but... Oh, Kaito! Hey, buddy.
Wait a minute, what?
Yo, you took your sweet time, but I got the gist of it. You're going to Eugene Show, right? To meet with Sawa-Sensei?
We didn't even talk to him since the
Kaito-san,
meetup last
you do
night.
realize that only I can meet her. You can't get into this school.
I know, but if you end up taking it off campus, can you at least call me this time?
Don't you understand the situation? Sawa-Sensei might be tied to murder.
You sure you understand it? Come on, she would never do that.
That a fact?
So happens I'm a great judge of character, especially when it comes to women.
No, of course you are.
Oh, sometimes I forget who I'm talking to.
Yeah, the real ladies' man, Kaito. Alright, back to Eugene Show, huh? So a couple of cabs. First one to Eugene Show, and then one to the high school. As we're plowing through people on the street. I did a little bit of nonsense out on the streets before we turned in for the night. Probably going to cut that out, though, if I already haven't. It wasn't much. I just beat up some enemies. To find where are the taxis? I guess we can go to this one way over here. Let's set a marker. Yep. Marker set. There There's a purple enemy over here, so that's I like mini overworld bosses. Like, look at that health bar. He's got 2 bars. I'll give him a bit of the tiger. I know I said a little while back about oh, big time. That was awesome. About changing up the fighting stance. I'm about to go through and use up all the SP points I've been racking up to put some points into one of the other fighting styles. I feel like, though, I should probably efficiently upgrade each of them. Like, put a couple in the tiger, a couple in the snake, a couple in the crane, like, rotate it. Because I think there's something to be said
What a waste.
as we fight more enemies that it'll be beneficial for us to kind of like dance between the stances, right? The term I used to hear in WoW, stance dance. The warrior. Any warriors from WoW watching? Anyway, it'll be beneficial to jump between the fighting styles to kind of keep the upper hand, depending on the amount of enemies and the type of enemy that you're fighting. So, something I'm going to start doing. I've been thinking about it. It's been kind of in the back of my mind that improving one isn't going to be the best way to beat the game. Like, there's probably one that's more effective at dodging and countering, so we can use that against quicker bosses or quicker enemies in general. One that's better for dealing heavier damage for more tankier units, you know, things like that. So, something that I'm looking into. We'll see, though. Well, let's get to Eugene Show. Little tally there. Oh, look at this. Is it bad that I hear the boys are back in town right now?
Well, first stop, it's gotta be Chinatown.
Thin Lizzy,
Can't face Tsukumo on an
boys are
empty
back
stomach.
in town.
Never a dull day for you,
Go listen.
Kaito-san?
It's the selection, man. I've already worked out the math. I figure if I hit 4 or 5 places a day...
What? What's up?
Check that out. It's Akutsu.
Oh.
Kamurocho thugs are looking pretty out of place here.
Yo! Akutsu! What are you fools doing in town? Hey, don't ignore me! It's Kaito! Fancy seeing you here!
Why you look like such a fool, man?
I'm kind of busy here, man. Catch you later.
What an asshole.
Oh boy.
Eugene Show's a long way from home. And he's traveling with a small army.
Would he have come all this way because of us?
Nah, we just caught him totally off guard. He's not out here for us. Gotta be something else.
But something's not right if they're just cruising around. It's gotta be an RK operation. He brought too many guys for it to be something more personal.
Yeah. Kamurocho streets can be tough. Maybe they gave up. Well, whatever they came out here to do, we ought to keep our noses the hell out of their business. But you better hustle. You're gonna be late for class. I'll catch you after school.
Uh-oh. So with them here, and the title of this chapter being Converging Heat, I feel like we're going to get mixed up in something here soon. Alright, to the faculty room. Another taxi to Stereo High. All the way down here. I've literally used money for nothing else, so I don't mind spending it all on cabs. Not that I'm making a dent in any of the money that I make. Regardless how many... Got a new message here. Amasawa. In case you've forgotten. Another case of great mystery is brewing at our school. One that could very well be hiding in plain sight. Come to the door. Cool. Cool. Alright, to the faculty room. Let's see what's up. Oh boy. What are we gonna stumble into now? Item. Dirty iron. There we go, she's at her desk. Do you know Yui Mamiya?
Oh, what is it, Yagami-san?
Sensei, do you have a minute?
I saw the video of Mikoshiba-kun.
So you did. That video, right?
I thought Ehara-san was convicted for a sex offense. How could he be in that video killing Mikoshiba-kun?
That's what we're trying to find out.
But then that video looked so real.
Most likely it is. As you unfortunately had to witness, Ehara-san committed murder with his own two hands. Which means as far as the groping that day goes, there's some deception at work.
Deception?
Are you familiar with Ehara-san's victim in the case? Her name is Yui Mamiya.
I don't think I recognized her, no.
13 years ago, she attended Kurakawa Academy. Her maiden name is Yui Suzuki.
Yui Suzuki? Just a minute. Are you saying she was the one Ehara-san groped?
So you do know her then?
There we go.
Were you two classmates?
We were, in our 3rd year of high school.
That's the year when the
I had a
boy
hunch.
jumped from the roof.
You didn't know she was the victim of that whole incident?
I mean, it's just so hard to believe.
Does this all seem like a wild coincidence to you then? Your old student's father gropes one of your high school classmates at a station with 3 million daily travelers.
What are you implying?
I'm saying your old friend Yui might be cooperating with Ehara-san, as in she only played the part of a victim. She might have even known it was all to hide a murder.
What? But why? Why would she do that for him?
Because she's trash. It does seem like she doesn't really, like, know anything here. Yeah, unless she's a great actress.
From where I'm sitting, Sensei, you're connected to Ehara and Yui Mamiya. I just need your help figuring out what that connection is.
Yagami-san, please. Are you implying I was some kind of liaison between them?
Well, Sensei, what was your relationship with Yui Mamiya? Were you close? Or would you say classmates covers it?
The two of us were never really that close. To be honest, I didn't really like the group of kids she hung out with. I guess you could say we didn't have the same interests.
When was the last time you saw her? Did you have a high school reunion by any chance?
They held a reunion around the time I graduated from college, but I didn't feel like going. That same class bullied a kid into jumping off the roof.
So if that's the case, you haven't seen any of your classmates since you all graduated from Kurakawa?
That's right.
Okay then. The thing is, Ehara-san and Mamia are connected. It is kinda loose, but it's there. They have one thing in common.
What?
In both of their pasts, someone they knew was bullied to the point of attempting or committing suicide. Ehara-san lost his son, Toshiro-kun, and as for Yui Mamiya, it's her classmate, Mitsuru Kusamoto. That could be a factor, especially for Mamia. It's possible that Ehara-san would be a sympathetic figure to her.
Which is so weird to think about.
Enough to help construct an alibi for his revenge. It's possible she only played the part of a groping victim. What do you think? Does it have any merit, or is my theory full of holes?
Even if you're on the right track...
Sawa-Sensei? We're just waiting on you to start the staff meeting.
Sorry, I'll be right there.
What happened 13 years ago at Kurakawa?
Oh.
That might be the last piece of the puzzle. What about Yui Mamiya? How'd she react when Mitsuru Kusamoto tried to kill himself by jumping off that roof?
I'm sorry, I'm already late for my meeting.
I'm trying to ask you about a murder here. To Ehara, every unanswered question is a victory for that man. He's only a step away from walking for it. And I know Mamia had other conspirators. It took more than one person to murder Mikoshiba. They're still at large, even as we speak. I'll be honest. I came here today with a suspicion that you might be more involved in this murder than you're letting on.
Oh.
A suspicion?
Nothing you've said has made me feel any better about it.
And what should I do about that, huh?
I just want you to tell me, how are Ehara-san and Mamiya connected beyond what I've already figured out? I think you have the key to that answer, even if you don't know that you're the one holding it.
Yeah, come on, you gotta
It's
talk
like a
to us.
lock. And until I figure out how to get through it, I'm gonna keep picking at it.
I told you. I'm late for a meeting.
I'll be here when you get back. Have a good meeting.
Jesus.
Suit yourself.
Just gonna hang out in your office. Okay, so we know Sawa is the same age as Mamia, and Mamia is the same age as the guy who threw himself from the roof, right? Those are connections. Maybe there's something to do with the old bully and Ahara, and that's how everybody is connected. I don't know, though. I wish I knew. I wish I knew how.
Hey, Sari-san? It's Yagami.
Here we go.
Hey, did you manage to talk to Sawa-Sensei?
Yeah, turns out she really was in Mamiya's class. And they were both aware of the suicide incident with their classmate.
Good to know. While we're on the topic, Hoshino-kun got his hands on some new info.
Oh, nice.
Let's hear it.
The bully at Kurokawa High was named Shinya Kawai. He transferred out right after Mitsuru-kun jumped, as if he were running away. Once he came of age, it looks like he worked here in Kamurocho.
Wow.
Interesting.
You really can find a lot online.
Yes, and to top it off, Kawai earned a reputation for talking about how he drove a classmate to suicide. Like he's
Whoa.
proud of it. Maybe he thought he'd get a laugh in Kamurocho.
Probably would.
Kawai was more or less a Yakuza, though he never swore into it. I just sent you his picture. It was taken 5 years ago.
There's somebody else we know from 5 years ago. Oh, I knew it.
This guy?
You recognize him?
Not too long ago, some RK punks came asking his whereabouts.
There's gotta be
Said
a
he was
connection
a girls'
with that.
bar manager who went missing.
Yeah, it looks like he did work at a girl's bar. But we don't know which one.
Okay, so the guy's definitely suspicious. What business would RK have with him?
Unless they're connected with Ahara
No,
and him.
but their leader, Soma, said something about Kawai having already been killed. Like he just vanished from Kamurocho a few years ago, and that was it.
Wait, he was killed?
Uh-huh. Kinda gives me deja vu now that I think about it. Here you have Kawai and Mikoshiba, two known school bullies. And they both end up murder victims?
That could be for a number of reasons. It's not rare for people to disappear in Kamurocho. Usually the trouble is money or women. Maybe that was the case for Kawai.
Could be.
Okay. We'll investigate Kawai a bit more on our end. With RK asking around, word on the street will be loud enough to hear.
I have theories. Oh, I have theories. Alright guys, we're going to cut this video off right here. We are right in the middle of a wild Chapter 6 called Converging Heat. When we come back, we're going to find out why it's called Converging Heat, because it gets pretty wild, and I continue my play session. I actually just wrapped up, at the time of editing this, I just wrapped up playing Chapter 7, which, holy cow, if 6 wasn't wild, 7 is definitely batshit crazy. But I have new theories. I have thoughts. Maybe there's links because Ahara helped out Mamia and whoever she's working with to take out Kawai, and that's how they got to Mikoshiba. Like, there's a bunch of stuff going on in my mind. As you guys watch, you'll understand what I'm thinking, and maybe you guys will come to the same conclusions. What do you think's going on? Let me know in the comments. And when we come back, we're going to get to the climax of Chapter 6. So as usual, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next video.